There's a quiet liberation that arrives the moment you stop asking the world to validate you. When you no longer bend yourself into shapes that please others, when you stop scanning every face for signs of acceptance or rejection, something extraordinary happens. The weight lifts, the performance ends, and for the first time, you stand in your own truth, unshaken and whole. For so long, you may have lived as though your worth was determined by applause, by nods of approval, by the opinions of people who barely know themselves. You twisted, you performed, you dimmed your light to fit their expectations, and still, the approval never quite filled you, because it was never meant to. Buddhism teaches us a profound truth. The moment you stop seeking approval outside, you awaken the power that has always been within. Not louder, not more aggressive, just more real, more anchored, more you. In this video, I'm going to share 7 timeless Buddhist lessons that will guide you from the exhausting cycle of people-pleasing into the quiet strength of self-approval. These aren't just ideas. They are doorways to freedom. Let's walk through them together. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root of suffering. And one of the deepest attachments we carry is the need to be approved of by others. It's subtle, it's invisible, but it controls nearly everything we do. Think about it. How many times have you silenced your truth because you fear judgment? How often have you agreed when you wanted to say no? How many dreams have you postponed because someone else might not understand? This is the prison. No locks, no guards, just the quiet belief that your value depends on someone else's verdict. The irony is this: the more you seek approval, the less power you have, because every time you hand someone else the authority to decide your worth, you give away a piece of yourself. You become smaller, quieter, more careful. You start living on eggshells, constantly reading the room, trying to predict what will keep you safe, what will keep you liked. But here's what Buddhism reminds us. You were not born to perform for an audience. You were born whole, complete, and worthy simply because you exist. The need for approval is learned, and what is learned can be unlearned. Imagine a tree in the forest. Does it wait for the approval of the birds before it grows? Does it ask the wind for permission to shed its leaves? No, it simply grows according to its own nature. It trusts the rhythm of its own unfolding. And so can you. When you stop seeking approval, something powerful happens. You stop wasting energy on pretending. You stop contorting yourself to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. And in that space, your true self begins to emerge. Not loud or forceful, just honest, real, unshakable. Ask yourself this: who would I be if I stopped caring what others thought of me? That question is not a threat. It's an invitation to meet the person you were always meant to become. Here's a liberating truth from Buddhist philosophy. Other people's opinions of you are simply reflections of their own inner world. They are not facts. They are not verdicts. They are just thoughts passing through someone else's mind, shaped by their fears, their wounds, their limited perspective. When someone criticizes you, they are speaking from their own story. When someone judges you, they are filtering you through their own lens, one clouded by insecurity, expectation, and projection. And yet, we take these opinions as gospel. We believe them. We let them define us. Buddhism teaches us to see thoughts for what they are: clouds passing through the sky of consciousness. They come, they go. They have no power unless we give it to them. Think of it this way: if 10 people look at a painting, each will see something different. One sees beauty, another sees chaos, another sees sadness. The painting doesn't change, it simply is. The interpretations, the judgments, those belong to the observers, not the painting. You are the painting. And the world is full of observers, each interpreting you through their own pain, their own desires, their own confusion. Their opinions tell you more about them than they ever will about you. So why do we give these opinions so much weight? Because we've been conditioned to believe that external validation equals safety, that if we are liked, we will be protected, that if we are approved of, we will belong. But Buddhism shows us a different path. It says true safety comes not from being liked, but from being anchored in your own truth. When you understand that other people's opinions are just thoughts, you stop internalizing them. You stop letting them shape your choices, your mood, your sense of self. You hear them, you acknowledge them, and then you let them pass, like wind through an open window. This doesn't mean you become cold or closed off. It means you become discerning. You learn to recognize which voices deserve your attention and which ones are simply noise. And most importantly, you stop mistaking someone else's story about you for the truth of who you are. Freedom begins the moment you realize this. No one else has the authority to define you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your critics, not your followers. Only you know the truth of your own heart, and that truth is enough. There's a quiet cost to constantly seeking approval, one that's rarely spoken about. Every time you look outside yourself for validation, you send a message to your own soul. You tell yourself, I don't trust my own judgment. I need someone else to tell me I'm okay. And over time, that message becomes a belief. You stop listening to your inner voice. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop knowing what you want, what you feel, what you believe, because you've trained yourself to defer to others. Buddhism calls this losing touch with your true nature, your Buddha nature, the wise, calm, knowing self that exists beneath all the noise. When you seek approval, you drown out that inner wisdom. You replace it with the voices of others, and slowly you forget who you are. Picture a compass. It always points north, steady and true unless something interferes. If you place a magnet near it, the needle spins, confused, unable to find its direction. Approval seeking is that magnet. It pulls you off course. It disorients you. It makes you forget your own inner north. But when you stop seeking approval, something miraculous happens. The interference disappears. The needle steadies, and you begin to trust yourself again. You begin to hear that quiet voice within, the one that's been guiding you all along, patiently waiting for you to listen. This is not arrogance. This is not ignoring feedback or refusing to grow. This is simply knowing the difference between someone else's projection and your own truth. It's knowing that while advice can be helpful, your inner knowing is sacred. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you made a decision based purely on what felt right to you, without considering what others would think? If you can't remember, it's time to rebuild that trust. Start small. Make one choice today, just one, based solely on what you want, what you feel, what you know to be true for you. The more you do this, the stronger that inner voice becomes, and the less you need the world to tell you you're on the right path, because you'll know. You'll feel it, and that knowing will become your anchor. Many of us confuse people-pleasing with kindness. We say yes when we mean no. We smile when we're hurting. We bend ourselves into pretzels to keep the peace, and we call this compassion. But Buddhism offers a different perspective. It says true compassion begins with yourself. People-pleasing is not kindness. It's self-abandonment. It's saying, your comfort matters more than my truth. Your approval matters more than my well-being. And in doing so, you betray yourself over and over again. There's a Buddhist teaching: you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you constantly give yourself away to earn approval, if you constantly override your own needs to avoid conflict, you will run dry. You will become resentful, exhausted, lost, because you've been living everyone else's life except your own. True kindness, the kind Buddhism teaches, includes yourself. It means honoring your boundaries. It means speaking your truth, even when it disappoints others. It means understanding that saying no is not cruelty, it's integrity. Think of it this way. If you had a child who constantly sacrificed their own happiness to please others, who never spoke their needs, who dimmed their light to make others comfortable, you would be heartbroken. You would want them to stand tall, to know their worth, to protect their own peace. So why don't you extend that same compassion to yourself? People-pleasing comes from a place of fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being alone. But what Buddhism teaches is this: when you abandon yourself to keep others happy, you guarantee your own suffering, and that suffering will eventually poison every relationship you have. The path to freedom is not through pleasing everyone. It's through honoring yourself first, not selfishly, not arrogantly, but with the same care and respect you would offer to anyone you love, because you are worthy of that love too. So the next time you feel the urge to say yes when you mean no, pause, breathe, ask yourself, am I doing this from love or from fear? Am I honoring myself or abandoning myself? Let that answer guide you, and trust that the right people, the people who truly matter, will respect your boundaries, and those who don't were never meant to stay. Buddhism teaches that your true nature is not something you create, it's something you uncover. And the more layers of performance you strip away, the more powerful you become. For so long, you may have believed that power comes from being liked, from fitting in, from playing the role others expect. But that's not power. That's survival. Real power, the kind that transforms your life, comes from authenticity. From showing up as you are, flawed, messy, imperfect, and still whole. Think about the people who have impacted you most deeply. Were they the ones who performed perfectly? Who never made mistakes? Who always said the right thing? No, they were the ones who were real, who shared their struggles, who let you see their humanity. That realness, that vulnerability, that's where true connection lives. That's where power lives. When you perform for approval, you present a polished version of yourself, a version designed to be liked. But that version is incomplete. It's missing the parts of you that are raw, that are uncertain, that are still figuring it all out. And those parts, the messy ones, are often the most beautiful, the most relatable, the most powerful. Buddhism reminds us that perfection is an illusion. The lotus flower grows in mud. It doesn't wait until the water is crystal clear. It blooms where it is, rooted in imperfection. And still, it is breathtaking. You are the same. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be real. The world doesn't need more performers. It needs more people willing to be themselves. Because your authenticity gives others permission to do the same. When you stop hiding, when you stop pretending, when you stop seeking approval, you create space for real connection, for real love, for real life. So let the mask fall. Let the performance end. Show up as you are. Speak your truth. Honor your needs. Express your joy. Share your pain. Be messy. Be uncertain. Be human. Because that version of you, the real one, is the most powerful version that exists. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop trying to be liked, you become magnetic. Not because you're performing better, but because you're finally real. And people are starving for realness in a world full of filters and facades. One of the deepest fears tied to approval seeking is this: what if they reject me? What if they disapprove? What if I'm not enough? And so we bend, we hide, we perform, all to avoid that painful moment of disapproval. But Buddhism offers a radically different lens. It teaches that disapproval is not rejection, it's redirection. It's life saying, this person, this path, this version of yourself, it's not aligned. Let it go. When someone disapproves of you, it's not a verdict on your worth. It's simply a sign that you're not meant for each other, that their values, their expectations, their worldview doesn't match yours. And that's okay. In fact, it's perfect. Because trying to force alignment where none exists is exhausting. It's painful. And it keeps you stuck in relationships, jobs, and situations that were never meant for you. Think of it this way. If a door closes, it's not because you're unworthy. It's because that door wasn't your door. Somewhere, your door is still waiting. And the only way to find it is to stop forcing the wrong ones open. Disapproval, rejection, criticism, these are not punishments. They are invitations. Invitations to trust that life is guiding you toward what's truly meant for you, toward the people who will love you as you are, toward the opportunities that match your truth, toward the version of yourself that doesn't need to perform. Buddhism calls this trust. Trust in the unfolding. Trust that life knows where you're meant to be, even when you don't. Trust that every closed door, every moment of disapproval is life steering you toward your true path. So the next time someone disapproves of you, pause. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, ask yourself, is this redirection? Is life showing me that this isn't where I belong? And if the answer is yes, let go. Not with bitterness, not with resentment, but with gratitude. Gratitude that you're being guided towards something better, something truer, something more aligned with who you really are. Freedom comes when you stop fearing disapproval and start seeing it for what it is, a compass, a guide, a gentle nudge from life saying, keep going, your real path is still ahead. Here is the ultimate truth, the one that changes everything. You've been seeking approval in the wrong place. Not from your parents, not from your partner, not from society. The approval you've been craving all along is your own. Buddhism teaches that you are already complete. You are already whole. You are already enough. Not because of what you've achieved, not because of who likes you, but simply because you exist. And the moment you truly believe that, the moment you give yourself the approval you've been seeking everywhere else, everything shifts. Self-approval is not arrogance. It's not pretending you're perfect. It's the quiet, radical act of accepting yourself as you are. Flaws and all, wounds and all, mistakes and all. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I see you. I accept you. You are worthy of love, of kindness, of peace, just as you are. When you approve of yourself, you stop needing the world to validate you. You stop performing. You stop twisting. You stop shrinking, because you've given yourself the one thing you've been chasing: permission. Permission to be yourself. Permission to take up space. Permission to exist without apology. And from that place of self-approval, everything becomes possible. You speak your truth without fear. You set boundaries without guilt. You pursue your dreams without waiting for someone else to tell you you're ready. Because you've already decided. You've already approved. This is where your true power lives. Not in how many people like you, not in how much praise you receive, but in your own unwavering belief in yourself, in your own unshakable knowing that you are worthy, you are enough, you are whole. So today, right now, give yourself that approval. Stop waiting for the world to tell you you're okay. Tell yourself. Look yourself in the eye and say, I approve of you. I accept you. I am proud of you. You are enough. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it becomes the loudest voice in your head. Because the moment you truly approve of yourself, the moment you stop seeking it outside, you will awaken to a power you never knew you had. Not a power over others, a power within yourself. The power to live freely, to love fully, to exist unapologetically. And that power, that is your birthright. There is a quiet revolution that happens the moment you stop seeking approval and start trusting yourself. The chains fall, the performance ends, and for the first time, you stand in your truth, unshaken, unafraid, whole. You were never meant to live your life waiting for permission. You were never meant to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's version of who you should be. You were meant to bloom fully, wildly, authentically. And the moment you give yourself permission to do that, everything changes. Let me leave you with this. The Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Not after you've achieved more, not after you've proven yourself. Right now, as you are. So stop seeking approval outside. Stop waiting for the world to validate you. The approval you seek is already within you. And the moment you claim it, your true power awakens." Lesson 1. Approval seeking is a prison without walls. It keeps you small, controlled by fear of judgment. Lesson 2. Other people's opinions are just thoughts, not truth. They reflect their inner world, not your worth. Lesson 3. The more you seek approval, the less you trust yourself. You drown out your inner wisdom. Lesson 4. People-pleasing is not kindness, it's self-abandonment. True compassion includes yourself. Lesson 5. Your power lies in your authenticity, not your performance. Realness creates true connection. Lesson 6. Disapproval is redirection, not rejection. It guides you toward what's truly meant for you. Lesson 7. True power awakens when you approve of yourself. Self-approval is your birthright. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share which lesson impacted you most in the comments, and subscribe for more timeless Buddhist wisdom on living freely, authentically, and powerfully. Your journey from approval seeking to self-approval might be the permission someone else is waiting to receive.